For those of us who can't just pull ourselves up onto a keelboat like a marine, we'll need assistance. Assuming your overboard crew member is still conscious, what are the best methods for getting them back on board after you've gotten to them? How could you recover a person from the water of any age, shape, size, or physical ability? Using a swim ladder might seem like a smart-ass answer, but it bears mentioning as the best option because it's the most efficient and easy to use. You can easily set your boat up with one. They're not that expensive on West Marine, and they're well worth the price. Now, assuming you disregarded my advice to buy and set up a ladder, what's your next best option? A giant f***ing bowline.
Is it a giant bowline?
Let me explain.
Okay, it's a giant bowline.
You take a long, thick line and make a giant f***ing bowline. The loop of the bowline should be big enough that your crew overboard could sit in the middle of it, and their outstretched knees and elbows would rest on the loop. The crew overboard then rests their back against the loop and grabs the loop at their sides beneath their armpits. They then join the two sides of the bowline loop they've gathered above their chest. Finally, they grab the loop from between their legs and join that to the previous loops of line they've gathered above their chest. They then clip a halyard to all these loops, and voila! They've made a comfortable harness to be raised by one of your ship's halyards. Let's see it in action. Look at this sailor. They're lifting the crew overboard out of the water using just one hand. By using a halyard line, you can leverage the mechanical advantage of your winches. Remember, more wraps around the winch prevents slippage by grabbing the winch drum better. Note how this method supports the crew overboard's thighs and torso, and requires very little, if any, effort on their part to maintain their position in the sling while they're being raised. On to our next conscious crew overboard recovery method, the fender seat. To prepare a fender seat, you secure a line to both ends of a fender, often utilizing a bowline knot. Then, with the remaining line, you measure enough space for your crew overboard's thighs and tie a double figure 8 knot with the remaining line.
Go ahead and pull up.
This is where you attach the halyard. It can be a bit unwieldy at first, but it's very comfortable. Once you're lifted out of the water, you can simply hold your line and rappel up the hull as you're winched up.
Okay, go ahead. Boy, you slip around on this a little bit. Maybe I'll hold this here. I think it does a little. A little more, keep going, keep going. Keep going. Yeah, keep going a little. Okay, that wasn't bad.
Finally, we'll discuss the most difficult and risky crew overboard recovery, recovering an unconscious crew overboard. Our major concern with an unconscious crew overboard is causing or exacerbating neck or spinal injury, since they aren't engaging their neck and back muscles. They may have also suffered trauma to one of those sites during the event that knocked them unconscious. Let's learn about a safe improvised recovery method from my fellow sailing instructor and retired doctor, Dr. Bob. This method should be used as a last resort if emergency services would not arrive in time and if conditions allow. Secure any rescue swimmers to the vessel so that they themselves don't become victims. Remember, any attempted rescue puts the rescuers' lives at risk.
Fortunately, most neck fractures do not initially result in paralysis. But if you mess around with it too much, yeah, you could turn into it. So you could bring them back on board in a very rough way. It can be very bad. So what we're going to do is be very gentle indeed. We're going to have to get something in the water with it. We're going to have to stabilize the neck. Now, if you're in the ER, you put a certain collar. Check down below if you have a certain collar. So what are we going to use to immobilize somebody's neck?
Sweater.
Sweater. How would that work?
You go like one side and then you tie it on the other.
Put it on a couple times. Maybe around the neck. Right. Okay, it's August. We don't have any sweaters. Who brought a sweater along today?
I love putting.
I actually have to do this. I ain't very long underwear. On a canoe trip way out in the Bowline waters. Somebody booked tonight. We use very long underwear. Never really have long underwear, no. We just wrap it around like that. And I got into the water right into a rock. Even a rock hit on like that. So the toughest bone in the area is the base of the bone. So the second toughest is the second toughest vertebrae. And C1 is the wind in the area. Anyhow, so the plan is we're going to get the guy in there with line on his back like this. We'll see if he knows. We're going to have somebody else go in and get a cervical something around his neck.
Which one do you want to be?
And then we're going to dip the jig in. We're going to put the foot
Okay.
outside.
You want to go?
Moving the glue out this way. One person on the tag and 2 people on the jib alley. Anybody that's free can reach down under the lifeline, grab the foot of the sail, and after the third, swing them back and forth. Bring them up gently, no rolling, keeping the tension equal between the lift on halyard and lift on the crew. Come on over, put them down, let them get on the port side.
Oh no, he got hit with the boom. Oh, he's falling. I've got to get him. Sailbag, sailbag! And try not to waterboard. I think I need this one. How's it?
method was your favorite? Post in the comments below. How would you improve on it?
Subscribe for more smooth sailing content.
If you don't know how to get to a Crew Overboard in the first place,
Watch my COB Recovery Method series.